What's up, guys? It's June 30th, 2011. This is One Question a Day, and I am Pete Moss. Alright, today I have a funny, interesting, and some may say childish one question a day, but I want to know what you guys think. If we could, hypothetically speaking, get Nancy Grace and Casey Anthony in the same place at the same time, whether it was in a ring, an octagon, somebody's backyard in the grass, a parking lot somewhere, get them together to fight, who would win? Now let's take a look at the contenders. You know, Casey Anthony is a very petite girl. She's been in jail for the last couple years. You know, I don't know what kind of shape she's in, but if anything that we've heard about her is true, she's a pretty cold-hearted person. Nancy Grace probably got a lot of size on her. You know, Nancy Grace only shows herself from like here up always. So I'm thinking that she's got a gigantic ass, not like a thick, sexy ass, like a giant fat ass. Like she might be clipping 200 plus pounds possibly. She does have a big ass head, so she could weigh 200 pounds. But who would win in the fight? I think that Casey Anthony would. The main reason being is she's probably a pretty ruthless person from what we've heard. I'm not saying one way or another, like I'd like to know the truth for her little girl, her daughter's sake. That's all I'm going to say about Casey Anthony as far as that. But I think she'll beat Nancy Grace's ass, like really good. Like, you know, I think like the whole tot mom and all the shit that Nancy Grace has talked, and I think if Nancy Grace knew about the fight going into it, I believe Nancy Grace would literally talk shit up until the point when she got her ass whipped. She's a talker, and I think she would talk shit, and all the shit she has talked and would talk would fuel Casey Anthony into whipping her ass. So I'm 100% going with Casey Anthony on that. What do you guys think? Some may be a Nancy Grace fan out there, and you might think Nancy could beat Casey. You know, actually, what about Cindy Anthony, Casey's mom, against Nancy Grace? A little closer in age. I think that'd be a draw. Probably a pretty good fight. Probably a draw. Like, I don't think there would be no clear-cut winner. But I believe that Casey Anthony would fuck Nancy Grace up. I'm not a big fan of Nancy Grace. If you haven't already figured that out yet, I think she's a bitch. I really do. I think she's a death vulture. I think she wakes up in the morning and wants bad shit to happen to kids so she can keep her show going. She's too quick to judge people. She's too fucking over opinionated, and I don't like her. And she said a lot of really bad things about Casey Anthony, even her family, you know, and like I would personally like to see Casey Anthony whoop Nancy Grace's ass. I think that would be like classic. I wish I could be standing there, and even if I just got to film it with my iPhone, it would be like a great video to get. Casey beating Nancy, like, who is a top mom now, bitch? This is what I think. Some of you, like I said, some of you may be a fan of Nancy Grace and think she can win the fight, but just on size alone, or maybe the talk she talks, she's convinced you that she's mean. So leave some comments, tell me what you think. Who would win that fight, and who would be good, like, if we got it together as a pay-per-view, who would be a good undercard? Maybe Michelle Bachmann against Sarah Palin. I believe Sarah Palin's coming out of the woods in Alaska and whipping Michelle Bachmann's ass. This is what I think on that. We might save that for another one question a day. Alright, so there it is. Who's going to win out of Casey Anthony and Nancy Grace, hypothetically, if they got in a fight? I'm going with Casey Anthony all the way to beat the shit out of her. Alright, this is One Question a Day. I am Pete Moss. I will see you guys tomorrow. Nancy Grace, you are a bitch. Peace to everybody else.